ambition. Yeah, I'm extremely suspicious of ambition and always have been. It sounds to me, ambition is very similar to this, your country needs you, honor your country, a few good men, the kind of propaganda that's used to recruit people into activities that do not serve their interests, but serve the interests of some other entity. I got into a little bit of a dust up on Veterans Day recently when I said online, I wrote something about, I have compassion for veterans and feel, I feel compassion for them, but I don't feel I need to thank anyone for their service because nobody served me. Nobody's done anything for me. I can't, in my lifetime, there hasn't been a just war. So someone who went off to Vietnam or Iraq or Afghanistan, they sure as fuck didn't do it for me. I didn't vote for the people who sent them there. I would not have wanted them to go there. I would not have wanted anyone to go there. I don't think that any of those wars served my interests in the least. And I feel sorry for people who were hurt or killed or whose lives were damaged in any way by those conflicts. But to thank someone for doing that seems totally counterproductive to me, because they didn't do it for me. And I would have preferred they not do it at all. So there's that. And I feel like ambition is sort of similar. It's like, you're tricked into this mindset of believing that you're only valuable in as much as you do this work, as much as you're productive, as much as you, in this case, you write grants and you get money and you publish research and, you get tenure, hopefully someday. That is a strange wheel to get on. And once you get on and start running, it becomes increasingly difficult to get off. I feel like the only ambition we should have in life is ambition for immediate things, not secondary or tertiary satisfactions. And by that, what I mean is performing having a life that's built around meaning and beauty and sensual pleasure, things that feel good immediately, not something that can bring you things that feel good. You know what I mean? So I think chasing money is a mistake because the problem is money doesn't feel good. You can't eat money. There's no money is a means to something else. But you often get lost in those steps in between the effort that you put in and the result that you want. So, if you're working hard in a bank, let's say, you go and you sit in a cubicle all day under fluorescent lighting, breathing this recycled stale air, pushing papers from one side of your desk to the other, pretending you're busy because you got to be there from 9 to 5, and you get a half hour for lunch, and you go and eat some fast food, and you're doing all this so that you can save up money so you can go on vacation for a week or 10 days out of the year. That seems like a really bad deal to me, because your life is what you do every day. It's not what you do that week or 10 days out of the year. And as Lauren said in this email, like even when you get into that mindset, even when you're on vacation, you spend most of the time feeling bad about the fact that you're not working because you're falling behind. Maybe your colleagues don't take as much vacation time as you do. So you're a lazy good for nothing and you're not going to get that position that everybody's competing for. And it's a shitty way to live. even if you win, it's a shitty way to live. Because even if you win, you still will have spent most of your time doing something you didn't want to do. And so my feeling about ambition is, yeah, I'm ambitious in the sense that I'm ambitious to have as much of my time as possible be mine. I'm ambitious to have high quality of life with low sacrifice. I'm ambitious to sort of find clever ways to satisfy my needs without selling huge chunks of my day, or doing something that I find humiliating and disempowering. Those are ambitions, but they're not ambitions in the sense that I'm trying to achieve things that other people will look at and be impressed by. Because I don't really give a fuck about those people. The only people I want to impress are people who know me. And I don't really have to do anything to prove my value to them, because that comes about just because we know each other. I may have talked about this on the podcast before, but one of the ways I think about these things is, how much money would someone have to pay me to get up at 6 o'clock every morning? Just what would it cost per year for me to shift my life around so that I needed to wake up every morning at 6 a.m.? I'd say, I don't know, maybe $30,000. I would do that. And then how much would you have to pay me to shave every day? I don't know, another 20. And how much would you have to pay me to wear a suit and tie 5 days a week? 50. So now we're up to 80 grand a year. How much would you have to pay me to call someone boss? To think of that I have a boss and that I have to do what my boss wants me to do. I have to attend this fucking stupid ass meeting because my boss said I should, and I have to pretend I'm interested in this project that this fucking doodad that our company's making, or this, dynamic service provider bullshit. How much would you have to pay me to speak that language and pretend to care about shit I don't care about? I don't know. 100 grand a year, probably. So, I mean, if you add those things up, it's like, that's 180 grand per year right there. Like, just to not do those things, So it's strange if you look at work that way. If you look at, remuneration, it's not just how much money you make that should go into the calculation. It's the value of the things that you're giving up for that money. How much time are you giving up? How much dignity are you giving up? How much quality of life are you giving up? Are you being forced to live in a place you don't want to live? Are you being forced to spend time with people you don't want to spend time with? It's so much better to make 50 grand a year doing something that you actually enjoy with people you respect than it is to make 500 grand a year doing something you don't enjoy with people you don't respect. Because, as I said, at the end of the day, all you have is time. Money comes and goes. Time just goes. So that's my sense of ambition. What is ambition? What's it worth? What are we really ambitious for? I think it's very important to calculate those things with as full a calculation as possible, with as full an understanding as possible that it's not just about how much money comes in at the end of the day. It's what has to go out of you, out of your heart, out of your soul, out of your spirit, in order to bring that money in. And as far as like professional accolades and That's all bullshit. They pin a fucking medal on you. Again, back to the military, so and so won the medal of this, the medal of that, and okay, great, but that only matters to people within that little world. Outside of that little world, nobody gives a shit. Those things don't mean anything. So it's like a currency that can only be spent at a certain kind of store. It's really not very valuable. It's all about quality of life, relationships, friendships, how much time you get to spend lying in a hammock, reading a book, how many sunsets you get to watch, how much time you get to spend with your children, with your friends. That's what really matters, in my humble opinion.